What's up? How's it going? I have a video here about making a 2D map for the scriptures. So here is a map of the Salt Lake Valley, the Utah Lake and the Great Salt Lake, and the Jordan River flows through the center there. You have mountains on both sides and city as well. So just like a 2D map, like I could specify a position, maybe an X and a Y, and you could locate a given place, whether that's in the city or on the mountain or in the lake. And similarly, I'm going to try to make a map for the scriptures where a given position would be a group of scriptures that might be similar. So I've made this Kaggle sheet here, and the way you can make a 2D map of the scriptures is you have to turn the text into numbers. And that's what's been, a lot of work has been done recently with that, making large language models where you can turn text representations into numbers and then operate on those numbers with computer algorithms and use those to either quantify or characterize text or generate new text. And in this case, we're using large language models to characterize the text. And so if you can think of a scripture, or there's different characteristics for that specific verse, and it might involve differences in tone or how long the verse is, or maybe there's specific cities mentioned, or characters, or authors, or people, and the meaning, what topic it's about. So all of those can be embedded, those meanings, into numbers. And the map I showed you has a 2D representation. You could say sometimes 3D. But in this case, with text, you can have any number of dimensions. And with embeddings I'll talk about today, or use today, there's like 700 plus dimensions. So you can have 700 numbers to describe one verse. And it's like a vector, or a position representing any number of items. So I've already done that with all of for the 41,000 plus verses. I used Google's Gemini, this text embedding -004 method for clustering, and generated 700 numbers for each verse. And then we'll talk through what I've done next, but it's kind of collapsed that high dimension space onto a 2D zone to represent the scriptures, and how in some areas there's scriptures that are similar to one another, and other areas that the same may be true, but they might have different topics, or so on. So here is the nitty gritty details. So you read in the data, and there's I've generated, or I used a source for the scriptures that includes the Bible and the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. And here are some of the column headings for that data set. And you'll see here's the embeddings, and that's 700 plus numbers for each of the verses. And so once I've done that, I can use this k-means clustering to create 100 clusters for the different types, or for the different scriptures, to kind of make them into areas or zones of similarity. And what you get when you do that is a map like this. And this is the X variable. It's somewhat arbitrary in what it means, and that's the Y. And you can see I can mouse over all 41,000 scriptures, and it will list out, what that scripture is and where it might be. And so I could go to each one of those scriptures, and there's a short little, like for instance there, that short text, Luke 12:4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid. Anyway, so I also, instead of just doing it on the map here, I've made an app that's interactive with this 2D map. And so here at this Streamlit app, this is public, and you can see the first verse I have up here is John 3:16. This is that same two-dimensional representation of all the scriptures, all 41,000 of them. And then I've got right here John 3:16, and the 50 most, the closest related scriptures around it. And so here, John 3:16, of course we all know, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And then there are similar scriptures to that. This is another good one that we all can be familiar with, and we believe and are sure that thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. So those similar scriptures are listed out there, and I've got it so I could click here and it would reset that one to be the center, and then find the 50 closest similar scriptures. Or I can move right on the map here and go to the scriptures that are just to the right of it. This one, 53:2, it's very similar to Jesus suffering and dying for us. And lots of scriptures from both the Book of Mormon and the Bible. And I love Psalms 23. So you can either search here or just type it in. Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd. Well, Psalms 23:4. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And other really good scriptures that go along with that. And I just wanted to share this. I spent a lot of time putting this together, and I'm going to use it to study the scriptures. And instead of sometimes going chronologically through the scriptures, it can be helpful to switch up the study routine. And this one is a tool that I will use. I just really like it because there's a lot of similar scriptures, and it's a consistent message from God about his love and how he interacts with us, his children. And God lives and loves us. Have a great day.